What is up, homies? Welcome to a spoiler review of Superman. If you have not seen the movie yet and you stumbled onto this video, we do have a non-spoiler discussion where we talk about the movie. We don't try to just avoid going into very, very, very deep details, but we give you all of our thoughts on the film, so check that out. But I just want to get into spoilers. So this is your official warning. 13 seconds into this video.
Full-blown
He's
spoilers.
about to get real spoiled.
Right off the top.
Right
guys.
off the top.
Can we get some love in the comments for producer Mark, who we are going to spoil this movie for? He's assured us it's fine, it's okay, but we're gonna get into it. I feel real bad. So let's get some W's in the chat for producer Mark. Okay.
We live streaming on Twitch.
We're not live streaming, so in the comments.
In the comments, www. Mark. W
Sorry.
Mark. Sorry, Mark.
Sorry, Mark.
Okay, let's get into it, guys. Specifically, is there anything you wanted to bring up that you? Oh, I wanted to bring something up.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines in the film is what got me a little emotional. Can you guess what it is? It's a line that Lois says to Clark about the type of guy he is, about who he is. I was so caught off guard. I was like, oh my God, that's about to make me cry. The way that that writing, it's Lois when she tells him, you act like everybody that you've ever met is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful or amazing, whatever it is. Like you act like everyone that you meet is beautiful. And I was just like, it's that feeling. I mean, even the dude at the beginning of the movie who helped Superman out of the rubble, who then Lois or Lex got later. Yeah. That dude.
That shocked me.
That dude, but the guy who was like just helping him. Yeah. That got me emotional. Yeah. To see the people, and then later him going like, I don't have a family. It's okay. It's fine, Superman. It's fine. Like,
and then he gets blasted.
I was like, that dude represents the sort of ideal regular citizen living in this world and how they feel about this man, about Superman, and how, and that Superman knew his first name. They had a relationship. He said like, it's me. I gave you a hot dog 2 years ago or something, whatever it was. You saved my hot dog cart or whatever. I was like, this is awesome, man. The little moments where Superman turns around to the building. Is everyone okay in here? They go, yeah. And he goes, all right. And then turns around. Okay, hey, big
buddy.
guy. Eyes up here. That he paused and did that.
And then he saves a squirrel.
Yeah.
Dude, it's great, dude. He blows a dog.
Yeah, he blows a dog away.
You dumb son of a bitch.
He's absolutely... James Gunn went out of his way to show us that this Superman really cares about everybody who's involved in these fight sequences.
Right.
Which I think is really cool, because I feel like people only think of Superman saving a cat from a tree, and that's like his corny, dorky, like super Boy Scout kind of thing, right? Where we were put in situations in which he very heroically saved children. Yeah, he very heroically stepped in front of a war and stopped it. Yeah, but also scooped up a little squirrely. Yeah, and pushed the little puppy out of the way so he wouldn't get smashed by a giant kaiju.
Yeah,
because he's the best. He's the best superhero.
Yeah,
just the way that people generally think of Superman. All those things that you just mentioned, he's all powerful, he's boring, he's this, he's that. I think that the strength of the movie for me is the fact that he takes elements from the Golden Age and from the Silver Age of Superman comics and kind of mixes it together. So he's got a little bit of like those early years of Superman where he's not all powerful. He can obviously fly, he has all of his powers, but he can get hurt, and he really needs to rely on the power of the sun.
And he really does get hurt.
He does.
Yeah.
I mean, literally the opening shot of the movie after the crawl, or after all the descriptive text of like what's been happening in the DC universe.
He's been defeated for the first time.
For the first time, and he gets right into the snow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I really appreciate that James Gunn recognized that in order to give audiences an into the character, you have to power him down a little bit.
Oh, 100%.
And because the hope is that this character will live on for the next 10, 15, 20 years, we can still earn our way to the moment in Justice League Unlimited where he goes, I live in a world of, I have to be careful because I live in a world of cardboard. But now this is my first time that I can finally show you just how powerful I really am.
Against the dark side?
I feel like that is a moment that we really can now get to.
Agreed.
I'm really glad that happens, because we can't start off with a Superman who's blasting his way through the universe, being powered up by
punching
suns,
planets out of the way,
blowing through entire stars to get more powered up to go to the next star, and just blowing through 1,000 of those, and showing up to Earth as like prime Superman, powered to the 1000th degree.
Goku, right? Super Saiyan 4.
I'm so glad we didn't start there. I'm glad. I actually feel like maybe Guy Gardner was maybe more powerful than him in this movie. But even though his powers and his constructs were a little goofy, I do feel like Guy Gardner, if he wanted to, could have really kind of rocked Superman.
He might have been more seasoned. We don't know how long Guy has been a Green Lantern.
He looked pretty grizzled.
He old as hell.
Yeah,
he looked pretty
Fillion,
grizzled.
you old as shit. But no, I mean, this is a world where Superman has been Superman for 3 years.
Yeah.
But now we're going to get a TV show called Lanterns where like Hal Jordan is in it and it's Kyle Chandler. And it's like, dude, has he been Green Lantern since his like 20s or 30s?
Longer than Guy Gardner?
Yeah. That is awesome.
What was the context at the beginning? It was like 3,000 years?
300 years since metahumans have kind of come onto the scene.
So there's already a lot of history there. There's a lot, and people are very used to metahumans being in this world at this point.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So that's very interesting.
Yes.
And I feel like that's where we're going to get a lot of context filled in the future.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much. I'm so excited to hear that there's like 300 years of metahumans that we don't know about.
I think it's a really interesting choice to make.
Why?
Because
Talk about it.
there was a part of me that really thought that, not that Superman was going to be the first superhero ever, but I really thought that the idea of Superman being one of the first superheroes was going to be a really big deal. I see. Because we are 3 years into Superman's career in this movie, we don't get that moment. We don't get the moment of like, well, what was it like when he first showed up in Metropolis? Yeah. We don't know. They haven't talked about it. They haven't showed us anything from it. But also, is it going to actually be something really big and meaningful if we've already had 300 other years of superheroes? You know, I think that's a really interesting idea to play with, because traditionally, whether it's comics or even in the films, you know, you look at, well, DCEU kind of retroactively changes it, but Superman is kind of the first alien that shows up and you're like, whoa, this is a really big deal.
In a big public way.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thought on this. And this is mainly because they changed his parents' story. Like he's basically a Viltrumite.
We should talk about that.
We should talk.
That's a big
so that's a big departure that I don't necessarily
producer Mark.
That I don't necessarily agree with. Superman is a Viltrumite in this movie.
Not necessarily.
Bred to be a Viltrumite in this
movie. Not necessarily. I think that the context is that Jor-El and Lara send him to Earth knowing that he will be safe and powered by the sun. And they're sort of like, you know, lead the people, you can be a hero, you can save them, you can help them. And then I think, and I've only seen it one time, you've seen it twice. I think some of that message context that we get later in the film and that Superman learns is that like, oh, and also like, if you're ever in danger, like you can just take control. You can
no, they specifically say lord over them.
Yeah, they do say that.
Yeah, they say lord over them, rule them.
Yeah.
So no, he was sent there to lord over these people, not it by chance.
I think that he was still, Krypton exploded.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not that he was sent there as a mission of like, no, your job is to absorb it into the Kryptonian Empire.
They literally said lord over them.
But that's the difference between the Viltrumites.
Not to bring it into the Kryptonite, the Krypton world, but like just be king of this planet.
But there's still the story of we're dead.
Yeah.
You will be not only safe here, but you'll be so safe and so powered.
You'll be king.
That if anybody gives you shit, lord over them, which is bad, but it's not like, it's not a complete, like, yes,
wipes them out.
It's not a 100% different origin. It's a 50% different origin. Do you see what I'm saying? Krypton is still gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's still the
Krypton is still gone.
Yes.
But they didn't say just in case rule them. They said lord over them.
I thought that he said something like, and if you find resistance or if you or something like if you're in danger or something, then lord over them.
I don't think they said
it.
That
Wasn't like we're sending you here, be their king, and they'll do whatever you say. I thought it was like, we'll send you here. I think
that's why people were so mad.
You'll be safe here. And well, yeah, but that was Lex Luthor manipulating the shit or whatever.
No,
like,
the original message was translated and they said lord over them. That's why everybody was so mad.
Of course, yes, that's true. I'm just trying to
I think you're trying to give Superman the benefit of the doubt.
Jerry.
I'm trying to give Jor-El and Lara the benefit of the doubt.
I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
I think he completely changed the story.
Okay.
Because I don't feel like their story is going to play as big of a part in this Superman as it has in others Superman.
Let me try to clarify. You're saying that James Gunn changed the story of Superman. I think he changed the characters of Jor-El and Lara.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? The story is the same. Krypton exploded and they sent the baby to Earth.
Right.
Yes.
He's not changing.
His intentions on Earth may have been changed.
He's not changing the story of, and now since Krypton's still alive, that Superman will have to own Earth and report to the Kryptonians. And all the
Kryptonians are still
dead. The
dead.
story is still, he's the last son of Krypton.
Yes.
Until we meet some other characters, Crypto and everything else. But you're right in that Jor-El and Lara, as far as we know so far, they have different perspectives on Earth and what Kal-El can do there.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what it made me think of? It made me think of My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah.
Because the messaging in My Adventures with Superman is purposefully, obviously for story reasons,
confused.
Superman can't completely decipher it.
Yep.
He thinks that he's sent to Earth to rule, or that the Kryptonians are going to come to Earth to rule, but that's not totally true.
But there are still some Kryptonians and Jor-El.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's not till I think season 2 even that the full sort of message is decoded once Jor-El, the remaining sort of like
the AI
of Jor-El can decode the message.
Dude.
So I do wonder if there will be opportunities in the future to pick up those threads.
I think so.
For Superman to fully decode what the whole message is.
To get the full history of
there's still more context.
And maybe
Heritage.
that context that Lex Luthor uses against Superman to turn Earth against him is not actually referring solely to Earth, but also contextualizing maybe, hey, there's a threat that perhaps escaped Krypton, or there could be other threats in the galaxy.
Interesting.
If something happens, Lord over them to protect them.
There's still a hiccup when the message is put together.
Right.
Yes.
It's not a flawless message.
There still might be information there. But as far as we know and are made to understand, he's made to lord over the Earth.
You're right. But
and that was definitely the way that I took it the first time.
Yeah.
But then rewatching it and seeing that hiccup when they replay the whole message, I'm like, I think that this may be purposeful, and there's going to be more to this.
There could be. There's two things that they're making me think of, and they're both from the comics, and this is very exciting. The first one is Jor-El in recent Superman comics was revealed to still be alive. And he became the sort of grandfather to the Kent family, because by that point Superman and Lois had a son.
So he comes to Earth.
Yes, and it's like and Superman, Clark Kent, Kal-El actually gets to talk to him and interface with him. And so there was something about even though Krypton exploded, he somehow survived. Something to do with the Phantom Zone, something to do with the Bottle City of Kandor. I don't know what it is. Take your pick for the sci-fi reasoning, but and the fact that, here's another spoiler, it's Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Dude, Bradley Cooper did his buddy James Gunn a favor, but what if James Gunn is like, no, I want Bradley Cooper to do this for this cameo, basically, for this moment, and then in a sequel movie or story or DC adventure, we do what you guys are describing. The second thing it's making me think of is, I just read for the first time, I think they're great, comics that are Superman 78.
Oh, yeah.
The continuation of the Christopher Reeve story and the Marlon Brando, Jor-El and that.
Yeah.
Marlon Brando, Jor-El and Lara are shrunk down by Brainiac and put into the Bottle City of Kandor. And the Christopher Reeve Superman actually finds Brainiac and finds that bottle and saves his mom, and they talk to each other. So even if we're going back to Augustine's correct opinion that these two parents are assholes because they told Kal-El to lord over Earth, what if Bradley Cooper and his wife's character are alive? And they're in the Bottle City of Kandor. Brainiac has them, Phantom Zone, whatever it is. This Superman, David Corenswet, actually gets to meet him and confront his parents. And what if his parents go,
why did you send me to Earth to lord over them?
And they go, because that's what we wanted you to be safe. And that's what and then maybe even Superman's upbringing on Earth changes his Kryptonian parents' minds, that he's able to confront them and go, that's not what I want to do. That's not right. And eventually they're like, you know what? You're right. We were wrong to do that. We were wrong. Sorry. If Jor-El, played by Bradley Cooper, in a future thing is actually, yeah, I'm glad you were raised by Jonathan and Martha Kent. We fucked up. That's not a good look. You're that could even happen, which is very interesting.
I think there's a little bit of that set up already when in that touching moment when he's talking to his dad, where his dad says something to the effect of, it's not for us to decide who you are, basically. We
just give you the tools.
We give you the tools to deal with all the weird shit. I think he said something along those lines of to be a weird guy or whatever.
Parent line. What a great great parallel.
What a really good line. Yeah, they call him Mush.
Ma.
I want to get your opinion on how they portrayed Ma and Pa Kent.
That was the funny thing about the movie I'm watching, and I was like, those two things taken care of. I feel good about them. You know,
thick accents.
I
will say, like, I'll get your boots for you. I'm like, how come Clark isn't like, hey, Lois, you want to go get a sandwich? I know, right? Like, how come he don't talk like that?
I gotta go to Fortune South too. Yeah,
I hope you had a good time up there in the North Pole with the Kryptonites and Kryptonians. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they feel very like authentically. This sounds stupid to say because I don't know anyone from the Midwest.
Yes,
but it kind of feels very authentically Midwestern to me.
Okay.
And I like they're farmers.
Yes,
Farmers in the United States.
They sound like farmers.
They're doing all the hard work and they're not exactly thriving financially off of it.
And real talk,
I like that realistic take on them.
I love Smallville and I love most iterations of like Ma and Pa Kent, but in Smallville, I'm like, they might be a little too good looking and a little, you know, like I'm like, they're farmers, like really? They look like models. These two, like
Bo Duke,
Bo Duke, one of them good Duke
Bo
boys.
Duke and Lana Lang.
Yeah. So it's like, maybe in an effort to get us all to buy it more.
Yeah.
They found these amazing actors. They're great. They're very endearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them. They did win me over, but I was a little like, damn, this is a thick accent. Okay, here we go.
Accent.
We're used to fucking like Kevin Costner and Diane Lane. They're gorgeous. They're farmers. They're struggling farmers. No, these folks look like they're farmers.
Yeah. Straight up.
Well, you know what
aging parents. Yeah.
You know what I love is hey, Clark, I just want to give you a call. And she's like screaming into the phone. I'm like, man, that is such a parent thing to do. That is so accurate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like that. And I hope that, well, first of all, I like the fact that this is finally an on-screen or big screen version of Superman where Ma and Pa Kent are alive.
Yeah.
I really like that. And I hope that Pa Kent gets to stick around for a little bit longer.
I don't think that they should rush to do like in this movie, Jonathan Kent has a heart attack and dies.
I'm glad they didn't.
No.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
If the actor happens to pass away before a next movie or after the next movie, but before the next movie, I would say don't recast. Just like just if Jonathan or Martha or both are gone, then they're gone, and let's keep going. And I don't think that there's a pressing Jonathan Kent story that William Hurt passed away. Right, William Hurt passed away, but we're going to do Red Hulk, so let's bring in Harrison Ford. I'm like, no, it's fine. If we get to that point, then that's okay. But I want to talk about something that I didn't love in the movie, and I feel like I might be in the minority, and it's maybe a little controversial. And I think he's a great actor, but not my favorite Lex Luthor.
Oh,
okay. Babyface. Nicholas Hoult's a babyface.
Was that your main issue, that he didn't look?
No, that's not it. I think that there is. Well, first of all, let me get very nitpicky here. Okay, very nitpicky, and maybe people can just call me an asshole in the comments. But like, I still sometimes get frustrated when like a non-American actor is putting on an American accent, because I'm like, there's little things I can hear, dude. I'm like, just find an American actor or change it, make Lex Luthor British. I don't give a shit. Like, I like Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, and they talked about that too.
I prefer him to just be more natural, the Nicholas Hoult way. And I think they cast him the way they cast him because he's around David Corenswet's age. So we're going to have a Superman and Lex that are like this versus imagine, not that this should have been the actor, but as an example, if it was like David Corenswet Superman and like Bryan Cranston Lex Luthor.
Sure.
Right? Of an actor, like then it's like, whoa, there's kind of a real gap in the age, and it feels like they're not on an even playing field. Even if Superman bests him, there's still this level of like, yeah, kid, but you don't know what you're doing. I'm a full-grown adult. I'm a this, I'm a that. I think that my thing about Lex is that there's a couple of things in this movie where I'm like, he is such a whiny little bitch. But and also Nicholas Hoult, and I love him as an actor for being able to do this, can cry on a dime, dude. Like, great. But I'm also like, I think I like the Lex who is more like the Clancy Brown, very charismatic,
stoic, non-emotional,
a little bit more stoic, a little bit more like, I run this city and everyone in the city worships me.
Kind of Kingpin-y.
Yes, a little bit Wilson Fisk. Yeah, but now I think that, after having seen the movie only one time, and even while I was sitting there and going like, well, this isn't my favorite like take on Lex, You know, if you're doing younger, I'm still thinking about the vibe of like a Michael Rosenbaum, young Lex, but has more of that Kingpin kind of like really suave, like, oh, people are going to vote him into office or be happy that he's running this city and, you know, all that stuff. Whereas, I mean, he's a hunk, but like whatever, I can buy it. He's very, very good looking. He's tall and he's good looking and he's rich and it's Lex Luthor. But like, I think I just wanted him to be a little bit more like a Lex I prefer. However, I think James Gunn made this Lex Luthor to be like, but all billionaires are whiny little bitches. And I'm like, you know what, dude, you were right. I'm not mad.
Absolutely
I'm not mad at James Gunn's take. I'm just saying little nitpicky things of like, he's a British actor, let him be British, or get an American actor. Cause there's just little things that I'll hear him say. And I go, it's a little teeny bit unnatural. But then again, maybe that's all part of Lex Luthor. Maybe he was raised in the UK and now he's like, you know, he's like, I don't have an accent. Like, you know how Lex Luthor is, whatever. He's just a weird,
I think the casting and the way he was portrayed was very much on purpose.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the movie, he gets his shit rocked.
Dude, and people
He gets his
cheered.
shit rocked. Exactly. His shit is absolutely rocked.
It's awesome.
And when he gets in the cop car, they said, get this bald bitch to jail.
To Belle Reeve, you're like,
Yep. Get this bald bitch to jail.
Yeah.
In his head, he's making.
Yeah, he'll
he's
be back.
basically building that relationship of like, I fucking hate Superman.
Yep.
I didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
I need to go harder next time. And I will go harder next time.
Yeah.
And it's building like that's what I'm saying about this entire movie. Like, Superman's not at his hardest yet. The Justice Gang is definitely not at their hardest.
They're early stages.
They're early stages.
They don't have.
We're very much setting the playground for really super epic stories being told in the second, third, or fourth sequels of these movies, right?
Yes.
And so I enjoy the fact that he's a whiny little bitch because it's going to get to the point where I would say Lex Luthor is like a Doctor Doom. Like he's kind of unstoppable at specific points. He outsmarts Superman. Sometimes he's more powerful than Superman. And it's all mainly because because he got beat up when he was a bitching, whiny little billionaire, right?
Yep.
So all of this, I think, is just going to pay off in the future.
I think
I'm hoping it'll pay off in the future.
You're right. I think you're right.
But I have faith that James Gunn and whoever he hires to put on these projects is going to have that kind of payoff in the future.
Yeah, I feel a very similar way because I wasn't sure as I watched the movie the first time last night. I was like, well, how am I feeling about this portrayal of Lex Luthor? Does it feel too close to the last iteration? And if it doesn't, what are things that are similar that I think one actor may be able to do better than another one? And on top of that, how can this be paid off in future installments, which is already too much to be like rattling in your brain while you're watching something.
Yeah.
But I thought the same thing because in my brain, if this is 3 years into Superman being around, yeah, this guy's going to feel incredibly intimidated by this godlike being who shows up and is basically taking the attention and power away from Lex Luthor, who wants to be in control of everything. So he finds every single diabolical way he can try to take Superman out.
Yeah.
And that's that mad scientist part of him that's kind of taking over and is a little bit more eccentric, is a little bit more... He's less Wilson Fiske.
Yeah.
But I think that there is an opportunity because of the ending of the movie, because he gets his shit rocked, that could be the evolution or the arc of that character where he starts to slowly become more of that diabolical schemer, businessman type. And he still has that that undertone of being a mad scientist, but he's definitely more diabolical and methodical. And I hope that we get to see Nicholas Hoult kind of go into a darker path where he once he links up with characters like Joker, Solomon Grundy, Brainiac, because they even very purposefully, I think, they talk about how Lex Luthor is creating, how do they word it? Basically alluding to he's creating relationships in other universes that I think will inform where the character goes in future installments. And he has to, in some ways, be the antithesis of Superman. He has to be the leader of this very diabolical, villainous group of characters.
The Injustice Gang.
The Injustice Gang, or whatever they want to be called, Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
And he has to really take on that leadership role.
Yeah.
In the same way that Superman has to over the Justice League. And that includes being incredibly dubious and nefarious and just flat out evil.
I'll tell you my favorite thing. Well, one of two of my favorite things that Abby told me after we watched the movie at that screening a few weeks ago. She turns to me and she goes, I hate Lex Luthor. And this movie does not even try to get the audience to sympathize one iota with this guy.
Not at all.
Which she was like, thank God. She's like,
put a dog in the mix.
Oh yeah,
dude. Yeah, dude.
Dog torture. Yeah,
you're an asshole.
Thinking about like Michael Rosenbaum Luthor's a great example, or even the Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor. Those movies and those shows like try to be like, well, here's why he's kind of broken.
Don't forget Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman. Well, yeah, Gene Hackman. The audience likes him because it's Gene Hackman.
Yeah,
he's fun.
Yeah.
You know,
he's not as diabolical and evil.
Yeah. He's like, I just want Australia. Like it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But this movie is like you should not root for him at all. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
He's an internet troll. He's it's just like, oh God, I hate this guy so much.
Yeah.
And then my other favorite thing that Abby told me is that she said, I keep bringing it up, and she's like, you really like that I said that? I'm like, that's my favorite thing. Is she turned to me and she goes, I have a crush on Superman now.
Ooh.
I was like,
we won.
And let me brag for a second. Let me brag. When we were leaving and walking back to the car, she's like, I like how he's a dork.
Yeah.
And then she goes, I think that's why I like you. You're like a dork. And I was just like
that's right, baby.
3 inches taller, baby.
What's up? Hang on. I have to fly to the sun. I'll be right back. I was like, pumped, dude. It's so cool. Anyway, that's basically
my wife told me the same thing.
Yeah.
But with the Superman and Lois Superman with Tyler Hoechlin.
Same thing.
She fell in love with him.
Yeah.
And I knew that 90% of the reason why she was watching that show was to see his beautiful face. And I'm like, you know what? I don't blame you.
Yeah.
That man is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But if it helps you fall in love with this story, I'm all for it.
Do you think she's going to like this new Superman?
I think she will.
Yeah,
I think she will
so
because of that same thing. He's a very honest and earnest dork.
Yep.
And I think that's very like even with me, I want to be friends with him.
Yeah, dude.
Like I want to be friends with this version of Clark Kent.
Me too, dude.
So I think they did a stellar job with portraying that stuff. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about clone Superman?
Oh man. I mean, I think we all saw it coming.
I didn't see
From
it
a
coming.
gazillion miles away.
I didn't see it coming.
we saw it coming.
I didn't see it coming.
As soon as they said Ultraman, I was like, all right, well, I know what we're doing
that's
here.
A clone, and he'll be Bizarro.
Yeah.
I feel great. I think it was sad and
not
cool.
even Bizarro. I got such Nuclear Man vibes from it.
Oh,
because
interesting.
Hair.
Well, no, because Lex Luthor was like, it took years to comb over all the battles that you fought in to get one strand of hair. And I was like, you stole that shit from Superman 4.
Yeah,
interesting.
I think we'll get a Bizarro, and I think that
I don't think Ultraman's done.
No, not at all.
I don't think Ultraman.
Not at all.
Either.
But I think it also goes back to Superman the Animated Series. My favorite take on Bizarro.
Yeah, Bizarro in that show is awesome.
He starts as a clone from Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
He starts to sort of deteriorate, which is how you get the chalky white skin. How he gets a reverse S, I don't know. I would love for him to come back, get a suit.
I don't remember.
It's just like, no, it's never reversed. It's actually just like kind of tilted.
Tilted,
skewed,
Tim Burton. It's all becomes purpley instead of blue.
Yeah.
But I love that because he doesn't know what he is. And he says something like, what am I? And then Mercy Graves, Lex Luthor's bodyguard henchwoman, says, Bizarro is what you am. And he goes, Mercy. And so he's like, me and Bizarro? Like, I love that so much. It's my favorite origin of that silly name that, like, I think he'll come back and he'll be like, he's like, they told us he's like dumb. Like, he took parts of his brain. Like, it's so sad.
He's not as smart. Yeah.
Well, and especially when you see how Lex Luthor controls.
Yes, dude.
Ultraman and the engineer.
The engineer.
Yes.
They're basically video game characters.
And I think that Bizarro coming back will lead to, he'll turn into looking like Bizarro, and it'll be David Corenswet, and I'm sure he's going to have a lot of fun with it. But I think by the end of it, good Superman will be able to like show him like you can be good.
Yeah.
And he will, and maybe he'll go and put him on a planet to be just like Superman the Animated Series. I'm like, that's the best. But you got to have Bizarro for the Legion of Doom, baby.
Yeah,
he's got to be there. So he's coming back.
I think that's a good idea. I wouldn't put it out of the realm of him being Doomsday eventually, but that's way left field.
Yeah,
His suit did have that those goggles.
Because the way
when
he popped
Superman
up
and Lois
before
did the same thing.
before he took his mask off. The goggles, the way the mask was ripped, I was like, "That's kind of Doomsday."
It feels like,
are you putting something out there?
Yeah.
Jaime Pistolas, are you doing something?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are okay with that decision?
Yeah.
For a second, I was like, "Is this too much? Like, is this a little bit too much?"
There's so many elements in this film.
There's a lot,
and I know you said, Adam, like you had wished that Lois had done more. I get that.
I don't even think it's necessarily Lois doing more. I think I would have just liked a few more moments with Clark, because Clark is in the movie, like Clark Kent, proper Clark Kent with the glasses and everything.
Yeah.
He's in one scene
for like 5 minutes
at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then he's at the Daily Planet a little bit. And then but then there's also Smallville Clark.
Right.
Where he's
so
at
we
home.
get to see all three versions.
Sure.
But I would have loved a little bit more.
Okay.
Because I think also the thing with the film is it's not giving us an origin. So it's not really establishing what the relationship that these two characters have. So I would have maybe liked one more moment or scene with that trio at the Daily Planet to get a little bit more of like, well, what exactly is their relationship at the planet? Because then we get into, well, she knows he's Superman. They have that incredible 10-minute scene talking about the morality of Superman and the decisions that he makes. Beautifully acted.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah. I really like the fact that they played them up as like a super modern couple, which I think was really cool. Like they had a conversation that I feel like an average 30-year-old would have, specifically when talking about like politics and geopolitical wars and things like that. Like that's, and especially somebody like Lois Lane, who we don't know at this point if she's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist.
I love how much of a hard ass she is. And how she treats him like, well, I'm going to treat this like it's just any other interview.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not going to treat you
not
special.
Pulling punches,
and he's like, Lois, why are you acting like this?
Yeah.
She's like, this is an interview, Superman.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
awesome.
That's great.
I love that she can put him in check, basically.
Yeah.
That's Lois.
She knows who he is, and she can put Superman in check, which I think is a really great move, a really strong foot to start Lois off on.
Yeah.
Because she's not going to be pushed around by a dude in power. So I thought that was a super smart move. I wish they would have developed them more, but I understand that they're 3 months into dating.
Right.
And so of course you're still getting to know each other. Of course the situation's not going to be, once again, like Superman and Lois, where it's a full-blown family and they've devoted their lives to each other and they're,
we'll get to that later.
They're one team. We'll get to that point.
Yeah.
Right.
That'll happen. But this was, it was really
Great
refreshing
chemistry.
to see. It was great chemistry.
Jesus Christ.
But
Love these
I
actors.
also, at one point I was like, y'all should break up. Like, what are you guys doing together?
Oh,
you guys
no.
are all fighting the whole time. She says they're polar opposites.
I know,
She
man.
calls themselves polar opposites.
Yeah.
And
Right.
maybe that's the relationship that we have to discover as they move along, because they have to figure out that they are perfect for each other, but they're just getting to know each other.
They're in the honeymoon phase.
Well, I don't know if you're
Maybe
arguing in the honeymoon phase.
Maybe
Is
they're
that
out.
good?
Maybe they're out.
I mean, I feel like that
what-
has happened.
What comes after the honeymoon phase? Isn't it just like
Normal?
the normal married,
being
like
normal.
month one of being married, month
just
two
like
of being
accepting
married?
that you're in a
I mean honeymoon
relationship.
phase in the sense that like they're head over heels over each other.
Sure, yeah.
And I feel like
Emotions
after that,
are high.
Emotions are
Yeah.
high, and it's like, oh, the sex is great. He's got a super wiener. It's awesome.
We can be messing with producer Mark right now. The sex scene in this is crazy, dude.
Oh yeah, that's
It's fucking crazy,
Full-blown.
bro.
Those trunks, you ain't seen nothing
wait
yet,
until
baby.
you see it in 3D. Like, damn.
Chimama.
Full-blown Superman butt cheeks.
Yeah, it's
in your
awesome.
face.
Did you just put on the board defeat? What is that? What does that mean? Oh, after the honeymoon, it's defeat.
Yeah.
It's that men are defeated. Sure. They're defeated. No,
Complete submission. Yeah.
I love the way that their whole dynamic and their relationship is depicted.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about future
Yeah.
stuff. I also just want to say, I think I know that going forward, the next thing is going to be maybe like a Superman Batman team up, maybe World's Finest. Maybe James Gunn is working on another team up thing, a Justice League thing. Maybe we will see Superman in Supergirl or in Clayface or whatever. But I kind of, after watching this movie, I'm like, that's all well and good. I kind of just want just a straight up Superman sequel, because you have all of these characters to work with. You have the Justice League superhero characters. You've got Superman. You've got Mom, Pa Kent. You've got Crypto. You've got the Daily Planet staff, which were so fun. I want to see more of them. And I don't, to think about the difference between like how those supporting characters were used in Man of Steel versus Batman versus Superman Dawn of, it was already like, okay, we got a lot more stuff to get to, move a little bit more to the back burner. I want to see more Jimmy Olsen. I want to see more like Steve Lombard. They were fun, dude. They were really, really fun.
I was thinking about, again, my adventures with Superman and how well they've been utilizing those characters. Part of it is also because the show is solely focused on Superman.
That's it. That's it.
And I think this movie, because it has like Mr. Terrific and Green Lantern and Hawkgirl and Lex Luthor and Ultraman and the Engineer.
And Metamorpho. And
Metamorpho. You're like, okay, the sequel, maybe we scale it back a little bit.
Could be.
I think they're going to.
Really, like a sequel could be something like it's just Bizarro, or it's just Metallo, or it's just Brainiac.
Yeah. Have Mr. Terrific pop in for a scene. Because honestly, like he was my favorite superhero co-star.
Oh yeah,
He
absolutely.
was
It was awesome.
fucking
that fight sequence where he really kind of showed off his shit. That was awesome. Really good.
The other last spoiler thing I want to mention is you were talking about the golden age, the silver age of comics. The golden age of comics, I was reading those Superman books for the first time. We've been talking about it for the past couple months. There's a thing in this that I think is a golden age comic homage, which is if you read those old 1938, 1939, 1940 Superman comics, that motherfucker would just bust into a room like the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
He didn't Superman didn't give a shit about anybody's door.
Where's the dog, Luthor?
He'd bust into a room and people would be like, hey, you can't do that. And he'd be like, thanks for telling me I can't do that. And then he would do it again. So in this movie, where's the dog? I was like, this guy is my guy. He just like grabs a desk, throws it. Where's the dog, Luthor?
Also, after he came out from under the kaiju's foot, he went entirely too far underground, just ripping up. Just Bugs Bunnying like a quarter mile away, and he just comes out of the ground, ripping apart whatever infrastructure is under the ground.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that.
And that's fine. He doesn't care.
People are more important than property. We know that. We know that.
Exactly.
That was fun, man.
That was the other thing with that scene in particular. You know, he's trying so hard to not have to kill that kaiju, to basically move it to another, which I love. Awesome. And I love how Mr. Terrific is like, come on, man, like give me a break.
We gotta get this.
This kind of goes back to my thing with the pacing. Like I would have loved if when that moment happens, give Superman a second to really kind of like feel the emotion of like, well, damn it, this thing that I was just trying to protect so hard.
Yeah.
We failed to protect it, or we failed to move it without harming it.
And maybe we'll see it in a future movie, but I would have loved a moment where Superman's like, okay, note to self, like I need to come up with a big zoo in the Fortress of Solitude for stuff like this.
Yeah.
I need to come up with I need to find a planet or something somewhere. I need to like find a dimension or a zone or like, I love that. I love that Superman.
Apparently he already knows about an intergalactic zoo, so maybe there's already something set up because he said, "Yeah, we could take it to an intergalactic zoo or something." I'm like, "Did you already go there?"
Maybe he did.
How do you guys feel about bringing in these like really big concepts like pocket dimensions?
I am 100% on board with it. I was so happy to see that. I remember hearing about it, that it was going to carry over from Peacemaker season 1, which I was like, it was wild in Peacemaker season 1 that this redneck ass, like family and the father of Christopher Smith, Peacemaker, had access to the technology. What, some crazy Ku Klux Klan mad scientist, whatever, dude, that's fine. But I'm on board with it as long as it is, All-Star Superman can sometimes be a tough read because you're reading that comic book and you're like, what are the stakes?
Right.
We learn that Superman in this story is dying, but it's also he can go and give Lois Lane superpowers for a day. And he can go and feed a sun to a dwarf star creature, and he can like do the impossible shit. He can move a planet. That level of strength of Superman. But if that stuff is there, as long as it's still like, when they were messing with it, Mr. Terrific, the portal was closing and there's stakes added, or there's like a river to a black hole. So it's not just like an impossible, anything can happen. It's like, here's the parameters. It's a crazy sci-fi concept, but this could happen. Okay, great. I'm in. Just go, man. We're hitting the ground running. Yeah. I'm so excited about the big, crazy concepts. We're going to get, if you think about all the stuff in DC Comics, we're going to get we're going to get a Batman movie probably with the Lazarus Pits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or maybe with a Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
We're going to get a Teen Titans with Starfire and Beast Boy. We're going to get Legion of Superheroes in the 31st future. Yeah. We're going to get this stuff that I think DC fans have been dying to finally see and be respected and understood by people at Warner Brothers, who I think they realize that's not our job. We just need to hire the right people. And I think they've hired the right people. And again,
not the CEO of Nature Valley Granola.
Producer Mark, that sex scene is wild, bro. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Pew, pew, pew. Jaime Pistola.
Speaking of good scenes in 3D.
Yeah.
I feel like none of us have seen it in 3D.
How was that IMAX?
IMAX was phenomenal.
Slaps.
Phenomenal. Super crisp,
Superman's
clean.
Wiener.
Why? Yeah, seeing that wiener in 70 millimeter was incredible.
I might do 3D 4DX. I've never done a 4DX movie.
I think I need to do that. I need to do that too.
I'm getting my spine.
No, don't do it.
Listen, I did Transformers 1 in 4DX 3D. It kicked ass.
I really want to see that that pocket dimension escape sequence in 3D. I think when James Gunn's talking and hyping up the 3D, I think that might be the scene he's talking about,
dude.
Because there's a lot of reaching towards the camera, particles, like a lot of really dynamic things that would look really good in depth. So
I want to see the flying, and I want to see Mr. Terrific do anything in 3D. I can't wait
with his terrific balls. Yeah,
James, let's get those terrific balls
They're
in
spheres,
3D,
baby. They're in 3D.
3D Blu-ray, baby. Come on,
circles. Those call them circles.
You have a manufacturer on demand program. You do. It's an MOD program. If I can order every season of Static Shock on DVD and y'all don't press it until I order it, do that with Superman 3D Blu-ray.
What are we doing? Hello.
It's there. The technology exists. We can use it. Is there anything else that you guys feel like anything else that bothered you or that you really love that we didn't talk about?
I talked about Lex Luthor's voice and his accent.
That was your biggest gripe?
Kind of, but I'm stoked that it's Nicholas Hoult.
This is also a bit of a nitpicky thing, but I didn't love all of the music.
Okay.
The music to me, a lot of it felt very repetitive. Like we were hitting the same notes over and over again. And I'm like, by the end of this movie, if you're already using the John Williams tune, just unleash it. Just commit to the whole thing.
I think that, is it John Murphy is doing the
John Murphy
score?
And David
Corenswet.
I forget the other composer's name.
They're very talented. I will say that when John Murphy came in to do Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I do prefer the scores to 1 and 2 from Tyler Bates. I prefer that work from a composer. Not to say that John Murphy couldn't come in and
John Murphy's score for Sunshine and kicks ass.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. I haven't heard that isolated. I need to listen to it. Because that's a great. Okay, there you go. So, but true. I'm also not like humming some of the thematic. You know.
Well, the things that I'm humming is the John Williams part.
I know, dude, and I'm also, which is fine, but I'm also like in comparison, I'm expecting to love every minute of the Michael Giacchino Fantastic Four. That's that match made in heaven where I'm like, oh my god, he's just doing Incredibles, and Incredibles is such a top tier. So sure, that's another like nitpicky thing, and some of the song choices were good. But it didn't quite have the needle drop moments of like Guardians of the Galaxy or like.
I think they did.
I think they did.
Okay.
They were really
good. They're great.
I love those songs.
You ain't gonna beat a Ooga Chaka. That's all I'm saying. Like that movie.
I like it more than the Ooga Chaka.
Okay.
Like I didn't really like the Ooga Chaka.
All right.
The other thing that I thought was really cool. Sorry, producer Mark. Supergirl shows up.
Oh, that's right.
I am so excited.
And she calls Superman a bitch.
Yeah.
That was awesome. It was awesome.
Thanks for watching my dog, bitch.
Yeah. That made me so happy.
That was
great.
Can't wait for the Supergirl movie.
Yeah.
And we realize why Krypto is such a bad dog.
Yeah, that was awesome.
This can't be healthy. This is why this dog is so misbehaved.
Because Kara's a bad dog owner.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I think the other thing that I really appreciate from the film is that the movie itself introduces a lot of elements, and some of them are paid off in the movie. Some of them you definitely feel like we'll get to more of that eventually. But I like that there was, when the movie ends, I didn't feel like there was any sequel bait. I didn't feel like it was like, oh shit, this is what they're doing. No,
Lex Luthor's in prison and he just called the Joker or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that this is like self-contained story.
Yeah.
Supergirl shows up in it,
but
it's not going, hey, you got to come back in June for her movie.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, oh, this character also exists? Great. Where are we going to see with that character? And I even appreciate that the post-credit scenes are not, here's what we're doing in Lanterns. Here's what to expect in Peacemaker season 2.
And there's no Superman will return in blah, blah, blah.
I think it's very sweet that it's just him with Krypto on the moon. Very nice. I like that in the promotional stuff.
And a funny Mr. Terrific moment.
And a funny Mr. Terrific moment that I was like,
you can be a real
jerk sometimes. Great. So all of that stuff really worked for me. I think at the end of the day, I talked about this in the non-spoiler review. For me, it's just a pacing thing and letting the movie breathe a little bit more. And then if you're going to bring in characters, really make sure that the characters have a purpose in the story. And I think that's why Mr. Terrific really stands out to me, because he's so pivotal to helping Lois find Superman in the Pocket Universe and helping him get out. Same thing with Rex Mason. And so I just want to see a little bit more of that. Is like, okay, if you're really going to bring in these characters, give them a reason to be there. And yeah, that's mostly it. I was pretty happy with the movie though. I think I definitely liked it more on the second rewatch.
There you go.
So and I cannot wait to see it in
3D, baby.
Dude, at a 4DX where Clark and Lois, they're having an argument. Oh, their relationship.
They're having sex, and the sex scene, the seat's just going boom.
Oh,
boom,
getting wet.
boom,
Oh, what's happening? Oh my God.
Whose fluids are those?
Whoa,
I turned off the
Metamorpho.
water feature.
And then they pump butt smell like into
Whoa, this is crazy.
Let us know what you thought in the comments below. I'm really looking forward to seeing what our audience thinks. But I mentioned this in my thing on TikTok. I also am really excited to go to the movies to see this with my girlfriend, my her sister and their family,
Regular
and their
people.
daughter, regular
People.
people to see like
Yeah.
how do you feel about it? Because I think everyone's experience with Superman is mixed. Their love for the character is very mixed. So I'm very curious to see if this movie does what I think we all hope it does in convincing people that Superman is a character worth investing your time in. And hopefully it gets people to watch Superman and Lois way more.
I hope
the
so,
animated
man.
series
I hope
and,
so.
and My Adventures
great.
with Superman. It would be really cool because Superman is a cool character. So
Superman rocks.
let us know what you thought in the comments below. Check out everything else we're watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Heroes Reforged is gonna react. Heroes Reforged is gonna review. Heroes Reforged is gonna discuss. That's why we are watching